Welcome guys back to the video. It's your guy Mighty Gideon, and in this very video today I'll be going to accounts from $55 to $5,500 trading BTC USD. Flip account, follow me as I analyze the very trades and make profit ASAP. So currently I'll be closing the account in $102 at the very point. I'll closing the account. Currently we're up in $105. Let's take our next trade and I'll show you how we make profit just now. So if you go over to the chart, if you watch here, this is BTC USD chart. Let's go over here. I'm currently up in $105 at the very point. We made profits and more in something dollars. Let's go here and see what BTC USD has for us. Follow me as you analyze this very trade. You may be saying, which strategy am I using to flip the account? I'm using the Mighty strategy. If you want to learn my strategy, you can also contact me by the link below. So currently let's flip the account and analyze the trade the Mighty way. So currently from here, I've seen the very trade from here. This trade I've currently reached the overall resistance level at the very point. I took the very trade when it was the overall resistance level, and the trade went down, sold massively, and gave us its profit in my other videos. Okay, and currently if you zoom over here, this is the overall support level at the very point here. That's why you see anytime you see a trade, if it does map out your very point, the reason why this thing works for me, because I do map it out before other people get it. Before other people start seeing the market, I've already seen it and I've capitalized on it ASAP. So currently from here, I mapped out from here. So the market will full from here. When the market was at this currently point here, I mapped it out. The market sold down massive and gave me huge profit ASAP. Cool. So currently, see as we analyze the very trade to make huge profit. So currently this is a very big weak rejection at this very point there. So anytime you see a weak rejection, you see that the market is trying to reject that area. That is a very strong zone that the market needs to fail and to break and the rest. Currently from the very point, let's map out a weak rejection. Let's map it out as a zone that the trade must fail to touch. Okay, we have to map it out because anytime market read the nearest future to still reject on the buys, because we have seen the market and we capitalize on the market over and over again. So let's zoom into lower time frames and see. Let's take an enter. I want to make huge profit now. Our target is $5,500 at the very point. So currently from here, I'll zoom into 5 minutes time frame at the very point. I'll zoom into 15 minutes time frame, and I've seen what the market is doing here. I've seen what the market is doing at the very point. I've seen that there's a very big zone at the very point here. There's a very big zone here. They created a very powerful zone at that very point. So if you watch, the reason why I map out that zone is that the market touched here. Okay, I map it out from there. Market also rejected from here and also went down here and currently is there. Okay, that's why I map out this very zone here. It's a strong zone that I'm seeing here that you need to also see. So currently from here, let's map out our overall upper zone again. So currently we map out this overall upper zone here. You get? This is the overall upper zone. So the market will tap into this very point. Now I'm seeing here, I'm seeing a push to tap into that very overall point at that very point. So currently let's take let's be entering our buys at this very point, because the market is going to push to this very level at this very point. So currently let's increase my loss size to 0.05 loss size at this very point. Let's enter our buys massively, because the market is going to buy and give us huge profits at this very point. Let's enter at least 10 buys at this very point. So let's see. Let's see the market. The market is really giving us huge profits. I'm going to see a massive buys at this very point. We're expecting a massive buys to push it up and give us huge profit at this very point. Let's watch and see what BTC USD has for us. Okay guys, so currently the trade is currently moving in a direction, and currently we're up in few profits at this very point. So currently I'm closing up positions at this very point. I'm trying to maximize my profit and grow the account in a very nice way. I'm currently up in $145 at this very point. Currently let's take our next trade. I'm still seeing more buys here, so I try to go. I'm ending this trade to gather more capital, to enter more positions, to flip it to a Mighty high. So currently I'm making my loss at 0.10 loss size. I'm entering more buys at this very point. I've been entering more buys at the very point. At the very point, we're entering these buys 5 buys at 0.10 lot size, and let's expect the trade to go in a direction and give us its profit. Mighty height, let's go and see. Okay. So guys, the trade is currently buying up in our direction and giving us huge profit at this very point. The trade is currently buying up in direction and currently we're up in 200 something. I'm closing out trade in profit, close up positions at this very point. I told you that this very trade you're going to buy from this very zone, because if you watch here, this trade we tested at this very point and currently we map out the very zone. The trade will buy up and give us huge profit, and currently the trade is currently buying up and giving us this profit at this very point. So currently, let's find our next setup. We're currently open $264 from a $55 account. So guys, we entered our last trade. The trade currently bought very high and gave us profit, and currently we entered the sell when we cut up the first buys, and we entered the sniper entry at the very point. I told the trade to buy. The trade bought to this very point. We entered our trade and we entered our full margin on sale, and currently the trade is currently selling down massively. We knew what the market was about to do that very point there. So currently I'm closing out trade in profit, close up positions. I'm currently up in $432.26 from a $55 account at this very point. Let's take our next trade and let's enter more positions to see massive profit and flip account to a mighty height at this very area at this very point. So guys, with a balance of $432.26 at this very point, this trade I currently bought from our area to our key zone at the very point here. So the trade we reach here, this is our key zone here, to start selling down, because you see the overall trend for the trade to sell down from that key zone. We tested from here, bought high here, and when it drop down massively to this very overall zone here. So currently I'll be entering my sales, and this is what they call sniper entry at the very point. Because my lot size 0.50 lot size, I enter my sell massively. This beat CSZ. We are trading beat CSZ because the currencies this is what we're going to trade now and flip the account to a mighty height at the very point. We entering sales at the very point. BTS is about to sell down massively and give us huge profits at the very point. Let's watch and see what the trade has for us now. So guys, the trade is currently selling down massively and giving us huge profit at the very point. It is currently selling down from that very point to this very area as expected from there. So that this very trade to reach this very key zone here. When it have reached this very key zone from here, enter the trade for buy from here, trade with there, and currently expect the trade to sell down massively. And currently this trade is currently at the very point, and currently we're up in $481 in profit. We are currently up in total of $900 in profit at the very point from this very account at this very area. So currently I'll be holding the very trade to see how much you can go this account to at the very point. Let's hold this very trade and see how flip account to something massive at the very point. Let's see this very trade. This very trade is given at the very point, and because of this I'll try to close some positions and increase my lot size to go the capital. My target is $5,500, so I have to increase my capital to target it very fast and easy. At the very point I've closed up positions at the very point, so currently up in now than $1.77 at the very point. So but the target is still downwards. Target is currently still downwards for the trade to move from here. We need it to move down and sell to this very point here. See, the target is here. See where the trade is currently here and targeting to this very lower entry here. That's where the trade is targeting. You see, you're seeing it is from this our inner point. See, the overall trend is showing this very rejection at the very point. So guys, we entered the buy on XUSD, and XUSD is really buying and giving us huge profit at this very point. If you watch it, you see what the trade is currently doing at this very point. You see that this trade is currently buying from our zone. We entered the buy at this key level. I saw a very key level at this very point. I know the trade will currently buy from that very point. The trade bought massively from this very zone we entered at the very point and gave us huge profit currently. And I'm closing out trade in profit, close up positions. And at the very point, we're currently up in $3,471.82 at the very point. So the trade currently from this very point, from this very zone, we entered the very trade from there, and the trade bought massively to that very entry level. And if you watch the very trade here, this trade is going to create a fake out at the very point. This trade is going to see what the trade will do here. It's going to pull up here, pull out past here. A lot of people think the trade will start buying for it to start retracing and selling down massively. So from here, I been time my sales massively from the very point. to give us huge profits at this very area, because if you watch it, there's a very key zone at this very point here. So there's a very key zone there I'm seeing there. So I'm entering my sales now to give us huge profits at the very point here. So currently from here, I'm entering my sales now. I'm entering my sales because our target is almost hit at the very point. I'm entering my sales, and from the very with this very trade, I'll pass the very challenge. I think I can see a mighty height. The main aim is $5,500 for an investor as promised, and this account must be reached, and you must take the account to a mighty height from the very point here. So this is what I see what XAUSD has for us just now. Currently we're currently up in $4,000 at the very point, $600 in profit at the very point, and now I'll be closing out trade in profit, close up positions at the very point. And we're currently up in $4,206.32. I'm remaining $1,500 for me to pass this very challenge at this very point. So if you watch the very trade here, this very trade created a massive sell. The moment the trade reached the key zone and started selling immediately, there's a very big reaction at that very point here. So I'm expecting this trade to currently break out from this very point, because if you watch here, this trade is going to buy to the overall zone. The overall zone is for the trade to buy to this very point here. That is the overall zone. So if I zoom in, you see I map at the very, let me clear all these things and show you why I say the trade will buy up to that very zone here. So this very trade will buy up to this very zone here, because that's the very overall zone the trade is showing me that is meant to buy to touch and the rest. And if the trade did here, before the trade can start retracing now, because a lot of people would think that this trade have reached, trade will start selling from there. So I'm expecting massive buys to the upside from that very point. So I'm entering my buys from this very zone here. The first sell we took was to retrace that first sell there to confuse people to enter the sales. A lot of people entered it, I closed my trades, and we enter these buys now, and the trade to buy and give us with profit just now. What is very trade, and see how we take account to a mighty height. So guys, if you watch the very point, the trade is currently buying from that zone I told you. The trade made the first retracement. People think the trade will sell, but I saw this trade will sell that first time it sold there and continue the buys when other people are thinking the trade will sell from that very point. So currently from here, we're already up in $500 in profit at this very point here. So at the very point, I'll be expecting the trade to continue buying from the very trade here. I'm expecting the trade to continue buying at that very point here. So from this very point, let's watch and see this very trade buy up and give us huge profits. I'm not expecting the sales to continue. I'm expecting the buyers to keep pushing the account to a mighty height at the very point. The target is currently to reach this very overall zone there. That's the target at this very point here. Target is to reach this overall zone at this very point. So I'm planning to buy up to that very point and watch how the trade will do as I told you to do. Okay, mighty heights. Yeah, let's go. So guys, the trade is currently buying massively from our zone. I told you the trade will currently buy from this very point. I told you there's a very high tendency for the buys to continue at this very point. So if you watch here, see the trade is currently buying massively as we told it to go. So we're currently up in $418 point some dollars. All these things are in profit at the very point. Yeah, you get. So if you watch here, see the trade is currently targeting our zone. Our overall zone is currently to shoot out to this very upper zone here. We're going to shoot out from this very point to shoot out to this overall zone at that very top layer at that very point. So this is what the very trade and see what XUSD has for us at the very point. So currently from here, I'll close out trade in profit, close out positions at the very point, and I'll be entering my last trade, increasing my lot size now to break out as this trade. Once we trade in that, a lot of people are expecting the trade to continue selling from the very point. So with the trade, with the selling momentum, the trade will keep on buying and giving us huge profits at the very point. Yeah, at the very point, the trade will be giving us huge profits at this very point. Yeah, so I'm expecting the trade to buy out from the very point here. I'm expecting buys from the very zone. The trade sold from there. The trade bought to this very point. I'm expecting continuation in buys to this very zone here. The trade is going to buy from the very point to this very zone. Yeah, that I'm seeing at this very point, and watch how this thing will be the actual direction of this very market now I'm increasing my lot size to 0.8 lot size, 0.8 lot size, and enter my buys at the very point. Enter my buys at the very point. For the trade to buy to that very zone I told you. Watch how the trade will reach there. This trade will currently reach this zone I map out here at this very point here. That is where the trade will reach, and that is my TP at this very point there. So just watch and see how this trade will give us the profit we need. By expecting sales at the very point, this trade will keep on buying to that overall zone and give us the profit we need at this very point. Yeah, so currently expect more buys. I'm expecting more buys to break out from that very point and keep buying to the upsides like we anticipate. What the very trade give us the good profit we want. $55 to $5,500, almost smashed for an investor. Currently up in $5,000 at the very point. Let's watch and see what XESD has for us just now. So if you want, the trade is currently melting and giving us its profits. It's currently buying up as we expect the trade to do. The trade is currently buying up as we expect it to do. It's going to break out from there and keep buying to the upside. That is what this measurement 2 is showing. So guys, this trade is currently buying and giving us the profit we anticipate at the very point. If you watch here, this trade is currently buying almost to our TP of $5,500 at the very point. I'm expecting the trade to reach $5,500, and once it's reached there, we are currently exiting in huge profit at the very point. Exiting in huge profit, our TP will be smashed at the very point. I'm expecting the trade to continue buying. The sales will not occur. This trade will not sell because a lot of sellers are currently on this very market. The brokers, the banks, the hedge market, the funds, the CBN and the rest, to keep pushing this market till all the stop losses are being wiped out and the rest. So guys, I've currently passed the very challenge. I'm closing out trades in profit, close up positions at the very point, close up positions, and currently this trade is currently up in $5,596.76. The main aim was from $55 to $5,500 and was smashed the target at the very point. So currently, if you want, the trade currently bought from this our key zone to that very point and give us huge profits at this very point. So I've passed the very challenge. I've passed the very challenge from $55 to $5,500. And if you want account management to a mighty height, from a small account to a massive account, from a small account size to a very huge amount, you can contact me for the link below in this very video. And if you want to join my VIP signals and my academy to join the mighty men in flipping account to a mighty height, contact me for the link below in this very video. Mighty heights, well, let's go. Peace out.